name is Courtney Ann Wallace. I'm a 22-year-old serial entrepreneur living in Jamaica, and my specialties include the beauty industry, investing, and e-commerce. And you are here another week watching Cash Flow Mondays. This week we're going to talk about 10 passive income ideas you can do for 2020. And of course, as I always say each week, let me just put it out there, not a financial advisor. I'm just a young woman on a journey, and I want to take you with me. So on Cash Flow Mondays, we talk about practices and tips and traits to improve your life and your financial status. Let's get straight into the video. So before I get into any of these points, let me just put it out there that it's not my opinion that passive income does not exist. I just think the interpretation of passive income has been a little shifted these days. So let me just put it out there. There is absolutely no business idea, no job, no nothing that you can 100% not give your attention to and just make money in your sleep. At some point, you're gonna have to start it up. You're gonna have to do a little bit of work, probably less than what you would be doing in an office with the same amount of returns. So yeah, let's just get that clear. Tip number 10 is actually to practice affiliate marketing. And this is when you, for example, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a blogger, if you're a social media influencer, you advertise particular products that you may use in your everyday life, and you get what is called an affiliate link. Now, an affiliate link is a link given to you by the company that the particular viewer or consumer would click and watch. And if they do decide to buy, that link is connected to your account, and you get a commission or a percentage of the sale generated by your page, by your website, or by your YouTube channel. Number 9 is actually to have investments. Now, this can be stocks, forex, futures, options, and so much more. Personally, as a Jamaican, you can trade on the local market, you can trade on the foreign exchange market, and if you are a part of a financial institution, I think there are some ways you can also trade on the US market. If you're an American watching this video, it's the same thing, just the other way around. Now, I'm not gonna get into this point too much simply because this is not a video about stocks, this is not a video about Forex. Of course, we're all adults here, so if this caught your attention, I urge you, just use Google. There's a lot of free information out there. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But yeah, that is a great idea of passive income. If you are a fan of the financial market, a fan of the business news, you can, kind of use that to make your moves, your buys, your sells. And that in itself would actually allow your shares or your purchases to actually rise in value. Please try your best to stay up to date with current affairs, okay? Great. Now let's get into tip number 8. Tip number 8 is actually to rent your assets. Now, I know a lot of us growing up, we've kind of been confused about what a liability is and an asset is. We've been taught, for example, that a car is an asset when really a car is actually a liability. So before I move on, a liability is anything that takes money out of your account or costs you, and an asset is anything that puts money into your account or makes you money. Now, if you're smart, you can rent these assets and use it to the best of your ability to make you money. So for example, if you're not driving that often, feel free, of course, with proper security measures, to rent your car. If you have more than one property, if you have an extra room on your property, you can rent that also. I'm also suggesting that if you have equipment like sound systems, staging systems, generators, stuff like that, you can actually look into renting those for events, to stores who may be using it or needing it a little bit more than you do. Idea number 7 is actually to have an online course. If you are good at teaching, not everyone is good at this. If you're great at teaching and breaking down lessons in a way that even the simplest of persons can understand, you can consider teaching an online course. So let's say you are in a particular field, you're really good at what you do. It can be fitness, it can be lifestyle, entrepreneurship, specifically about drop shipping. I've seen a lot of courses advertising about drop shipping. I've seen courses being advertised about the foreign exchange market, but I'm not going to limit it to that. If you're passionate about anything and you see that persons are interested in learning, feel free to develop an online course. Now, the smartest thing to do would be to develop the course in such a way that you do not have to physically teach classes all the time. If you want to just provide the course content and maybe quizzes and exams, you can set up a website platform, have your course, people can go online, purchase your course, and actually do their self-paced studying. Of course, I have my iPad on deck, so I'm going to read to you tip number 6, and that is to start an ebook. Now, you do not have to be a famous book writer to start an ebook. Again, simply, if you're passionate about something and you feel you have a lot to say that you think that people might want to hear or that might be valuable content, you can seriously consider writing an ebook. And it's a similar method to an online course, and what I mean by this is that you upload it on a platform, persons pay, and you set your link in such a way that as they pay, it goes directly to their email and they can read whenever they can, or they can download the content. So here are some benefits of having an ebook. They don't have to be long, they don't need publishing, and in addition to that, they keep earning you money for something you probably spent a month writing, or if you're a fast writer, maybe a week. And the last benefit is that they help people to relate to your mindset, especially when you're building a brand as an influencer, as an entrepreneur, as a motivational speaker, anything of the sort. Tip number 5 is to go into e-commerce. Now, this is a growing market. It is not going anywhere simply because the internet is not going anywhere. From my knowledge, there are 3 different types of e-commerce, and that is 1, to have drop shipping, where you have a third party handle your packaging, handle your product and your shipping. All you really do is to facilitate that means of trade where customers can come and pay. For example, a lot of these sites that we shop with online, it's not being directly shipped from the company, but maybe from a different country. The second way is actually to have a website, but actually ship the stuff from your home. And then the third way that I know e-commerce runs, and I currently do this, is to sell on social media. So I am working on my website, but in the meantime, I've really just been on Instagram, on Facebook, but it depends on the country, it depends on your market. Here in Jamaica, Instagram stores are very, very popular. So persons come online, they see what you have, you know, there's a more intimate conversation with you and the customer, and then they pay you. They can either send money to your account, or depending on the delivery system that you have, they can pay cash on delivery. Tip number 4 is actually to lend money and receive it back with interest. Now, this is probably one of the most effortless ways that you can actually earn some extra change on money that you have sitting there. You can lend it to a friend, you can lend it to a family or a trusted associate, or maybe if someone referred that person to you. However, I'm not saying you're gonna go into a full-blown loan agency. That is a whole different kettle of fish. But I am talking about maybe just like a side hustle to lend your money, get it back with interest. And with this said, I strongly urge you to have a contractual agreement with that party, simply because people borrow money all the time and you don't really always get it back. So a contract is a legally binding document signed by 2 or more parties to carry out an action or a service. So that is very, very, very important if you're going to think about lending money and receiving it with interest. Tip number 3 is actually to become an angel investor or a venture capitalist. Now, there are several types of investors out there. However, I wanted to highlight these 2 specifically. So I'm going to read from my iPad here, just so we can get a clear definition of the difference between the 2. Now, an angel investor is someone who is willing to invest in a startup and provides capital for that startup. These are typically people with spare cash lying around, and they usually expect a higher rate of return than other types of investors. Now, some persons usually agree to repay their angel investors with X amount of money, including interest, after a period of time. So for example, hey, I'm starting a business. I would like to invest $100,000 in my company, and after a 6-month period, I will repay you at 10%, 20%, whatever the agreement is. Now, a venture capitalist is a little bit different. A venture capitalist is a private equity institution or company or person that is willing to invest capital into your business in exchange for a stake of your business. In other words, they want a percentage of shares in your business. Now, for those of you who don't know, shares are when a person has basically a percentage of your company that they own. They might not be there physically. You can't cut the building and say, hey, have some bricks, this is your percentage, but they do own a percentage of your business. Now, persons usually do this simply because they expect a massive return on their investment when the company grows and is valued at a much higher price. Now, tip number 2 is a very, very interesting idea that I found through research. It's more catered to my American audience. However, if you are Jamaican and you're watching this, I want to challenge you to look into the feasibility of this idea in our country, and that is to have a vending machine business. Now, from my research, I do know that the startup is extremely low. It's not a lot of money, and the machines can be financed in the US, so you don't have to have all of that initial money up front to purchase the machine. It also does not require excessive training, probably just how to service the machine, which is not an everyday activity, it's not an every week activity. And this is a great idea for passive income because all you really need to do is stock the machine with snacks, and then of course on a time period you would just come back, remove the money from the machine, or depending if the machine accepts credit cards, you would receive that money from the financial institution connected to that machine. Now, you know the vibe, we save the best for last. But this one I would say is more on the cashy side, and that is actually flipping property. It can be farmland, it can be housing, it can be plazas. It depends on how big your pocket is, but flipping land is a great way to have some passive income coming in. Frankly, if you're good at just, spotting out that good piece of raw land that's untouched and unused at a really reasonable price, you can buy it, mark it up, and put it back on the market for sale. If you're into decorating, you can actually buy broken or outdated homes. If you watch HGTV, you know what I'm talking about. And you basically spend a month or two renovating, and you sell it at a higher price, including the cost that you would have spent to renovate the home. And then of course that profit that you would make is actually going to cover maybe a 6-month period of actually maybe working in an office when you really just spent 2 or 3 months working on this home to renovate it. If you think I'm done, I'm not done yet. If you made it to the end of this video, comment Cashflow Mondays below. And just because you made it here, I'm gonna give you a bonus point, and that is to sell your school notes. I'm not saying being an extortionist, but you may want to charge a small fee for all that effort you've been putting in. But I do consider it passive income simply because it's a daily routine for you. No extra effort was needed. You were just that type of student. And now I think you should be getting paid for your hard work. Yeah. Now, in addition to school notes, you can also consider selling old assignments for year groups that have been behind you and are coming up. They may have similar assignments, and they may want to take a peek at how you structured your assignments, how you got your point across, and also the sources that you used. I realized that was a very common factor when I was in university. So if you're that type of person, you can consider selling your notes, you can consider selling your assignments, and get you some extra change, boo. Like, college is expensive. College is expensive. Adulting is expensive. Thank you for watching this video. That's the end of Cashflow Mondays. I'm gonna see you next week with a bigger and even better topic. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.